And, oh, first, let me make this clear. I'm not looking to knock anybody off of any chair or vice chair position. When we talked about board assignments, we discussed that we would need to talk about chair and vice chair of SSDs. And I just figured I'd put in county and council as well for chair and vice chair. And so really, and we don't have everybody here, but is there anybody who's here who's a chair or vice chair who would like to rotate out? That's really just a question I have.
And I think we already asked that one in that first meeting.
Well, I think we did for council.
On the board, the council boards.
Yeah, we didn't do for SSD.
And I think to do that, we need to go into SSD.
No, I mean, we didn't when we appointed them last year. It was a council. It was for council.
Okay, that's fine.
So anyways, that's the question. If anybody's a chair or vice chair that would like to rotate out.
If you'd like to, if somebody would like to be chair of Brighton Estates, I think that would be best.
You would give that up in a...
Boy, he's pondering that one, Steve.
Would you trade that for Timberlake?
No, Timberlake's is a good one.
Steve's got them all screamed out. Okay, council, as per Danny's request, anybody in consideration of you those? Not everyone's here.
This is probably a discussion we're going to have every week.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I didn't know we were going to two people. So. Could we continue? Could I make a motion when you continue this until our first meeting in February?
So motion.
Sorry.
Motion is second to continue to February 3rd.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Item number 11.
Okay, on 11, that was the idea. This has come up a few times, and item number 3, which we continued, we're talking about board compensation for HLMP, that made me start thinking about. I've been approached by individuals on the council privately and said, look, the chairman's not getting the money, should we go back and change the board pay so that at least the chairman can get the money for the HLMP board? I would prefer not to do that. I would prefer that we compensate the chairman according to what is needed. And so the discussion that I'd like to have today is, are you open to the idea of adjusting the chairman's compensation? And if so, how much? And what timeline? I realize that it's not in the budget, but I'd like to start the discussion because, as I said, I've been approached a few times by a few individuals that said, look, it's not fair what we give to the chairman. And I'm the one who made the resolution last year to take the board pay away, so I feel responsible to bring it to the council to try to make it fair if it's unfair. Thank you. I'm going to make you cry? I'm sorry.
I didn't too many onions in your sandwich or
something like that.
I guess my take on this would be, we made the motion, and I'm the one in that position right now to take that board compensation from Heber Light Power Board to the general fund, and it's for all general county purposes. I guess my thoughts would be that if we then turned around and increased the chairman of that board's compensation to cover the time, you're in effect charging the taxpayer twice for the same position.
No,
Because the Heber Light Power is already paying
right.
for that board member to sit there, and then if you increase the board person's, or the chairman, compensation to cover the time on that board, it's a second.
No, I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I mean, that's interesting. But what I was looking at is, I'm not looking to cover your time for that board. As the chairman of the county council, and it's all council members, there's 3 power companies that we deal with. And so I would prefer that we all receive our income from one source, which is the taxpayer. And I think that I don't like board pay. I think it's an insidious problem. But if it's unfair, not just the time for for that board, not just the time for HLP board, but for all of the duties of the chairman. But if, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you know what, we all do separate meetings.
I agree.
We all do. Mike and I, once in a while, go up and meet with Duchesne. You know, Steve's always at 50 other different meetings. You know, Kendall goes to different meetings. And so I think, you know, and I applaud Kendall for what he just said. And I think he's right. My opinion.
The form of government, the way it was set up, allowed for the chairman to get additional funds. And I think it's $100 a month.
It's $100.
Is it, no, it's a little more now. Mike and I were talking about it the other
A
night.
little more now, because we,
Yeah,
the-
I'd have to look at it when it
Already
was
gets
last
paid
year.
more than
Say-
this.
say-
He already gets compensated more
Correct.
than
I
this.
do realize it gets about 120, 150 more than the rest of us do.
really?
My question is, do we want to adjust that even higher? That's my question.
I would think if we wanted to do that, it maybe should be done in October as we approach budget time here, which means that the state is set for this year. If we want to evaluate,
Well,
is the chairman getting
we do
enough?
have the funds that's coming in from the board pays that's going into the council discretionary fund. The $450 a month from Heber Light Power, the $50 meeting from Blue Bench, and I don't know what the sewer board pays, $350?
I think it's over.
I think it's
Heber Light Powers.
Kendall's got it right there.
Well, Heber Light Power, I can tell you what it is.
We've
I don't
been
know what it
doing,
is a month.
we've been doing this
It's
for,
$5,703 a year.
we've been doing this for a year now without board pay. It had been talked about in recent meetings with us that maybe we ought to just review that, see how that went last year, and see where the money went, see how much came in, see what we used it on, just to kind of see where we use those funds and how much actually came in. Maybe we can have barriers and pull that up for us.
I wouldn't mind doing that. I know I requested, and I think you probably acted on it, Mike. I don't know. I wanted to see it as a separate line item. Because as I talked to him about putting together our council budget, I had a hard time understanding where that money was even going on to the general fund. I'd like to see it as line item, and then we'd say, okay, we've got X amount of dollars left there. When some of these groups come in that want a little extra, just go here or there, whatever, we'd say,
I
yeah,
think
we
it was
got-
around $10,000.
That much?
Yeah. Well, it's 5,000, like I say, it's this year,
It's 5,000.
it's
Right around 5,000.
$5,703
From
comes
Heber
from Heber Light
Light.
Power.
And it's right around there for the sewer board, $4,000 or
So
$5,000.
you're looking at about 10,
And
11.
I'm rounding numbers off.
And
And then the rest of us don't get compensated. We took it away. I don't know what Blue Bench is still doing. Are they sending the checks in?
Yeah, they're starting.
So is it 200
And they
million
need-
or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but we meet quarterly.
Yeah.
So that's $1,000 a year. So,
So it's 11, 12,000.
and we've given that away to the
Right.
rodeo kids and the FFA kids. And
Well, because we had a contingency fund for that too, on top of that.
right, and also
Yeah, we have our
the county-
council budget.
Yeah, we have a contingency fund in the council budget that we
Right.
devote to that, money came out of. I don't know if you've used any of them funds yet.
I like Mike's idea to evaluate and see where that's at, what's there.
Let's see what our balance is.
I thought it was going into the general fund. I didn't think
It
it
was
was
supposed
going
to be going into the council's contingency fund so we could use it for the projects.
for the high school.
As we chose to as a council.
Let's just do a review, see where we're at, and that way we have it in front of us whenever somebody comes to us with saying, okay, we've got this much money in there, sure, we can give you $1,000. Just do a review, that's all I'm suggesting.
I like that idea. Because I had our text in our budget. They'll give you an explanation. I didn't follow it. So what do we want to do with that right now then? It's an agenda item.
We can we'll follow the presentation, or just review where we are on the funds, and then, as you said, we can address it again in October if you want to wait that long.
Let me go visit with Barry. I guess it would be Barry, wouldn't it, Mike? I'll go visit with Barry and ask him if he'll look at that from last year. How much is there, what it was paid for, and give us a report on that, and we can bring this back.
But we're talking about two separate items here. I mean, one, we're talking about how much did we get last year in that fund.
Well, but it kind of,
The second,
you're right.
but the thing that's on the agenda is the stipend for the chairman and I. That's really the question.
Correct.
No, I don't think anyone's really answered that.
I think Ken did, when he said, let's wait till Mike comes.
Okay.
And that's what Ken
That's
said.
fine.
Yeah, it wasn't a formal motion, that's just what I prefer.
Okay.
And I support Ken.
We'll let it second until then. We don't necessarily need a motion for that.
Okay. Item 9.
All right. Heber Valley Sewer Board. You're on the board.
I am.
All right. Who are the members, or who's the representative?
Heber City has 3 representatives on the board. Midway has 2. Midway has 2. One of them is Midway City, and one is Midway Sanitation. The county has 1 person on the board, and Charleston has 1 person on the board.
Is the county a voting position?
Yes.
When the district was formed back in '77, it made sense for all those entities to be on. In fact, I think it was smaller at the time. But my question now is, should Charleston continue to have a voting member on that?
Probably not, but you'd have to go back and change the creation documents. And to change the creation document, to change the makeup of that board and the function of it, when it's got bonding against it, I don't know if it's possible.
And maybe to support a little bit, and I don't know, I think we need to have our attorneys maybe look at this, but in what Steve just said, this was formed, I pulled off the minutes, it was formed in 1977. And in the August 19th meeting, when they adopted the resolution to appoint the Administrative Control Board, it says on there, the board discussed the size and composition of the Administrative Control Board, and it was determined that the board should consist of 7 persons, 4 of whom would represent the cities, towns, and improvement district located within the boundaries of the district. Now,
Is Charleston in the district?
that's my point or question.
Originally it was.
Well, has the council, which is the controlling board, just like the number 9 that we dealt with earlier, have they changed the boundaries of the district? That SSA, or what's the name of the district, I guess?
Heber Valley Special
Sheet number 1.
No, it's not number 1,
It's Heber Valley Special Services.
yeah, Heber Valley Special Service District. And that's why Charleston got put on, even though as the process moved forward, they didn't choose to avail themselves of the services of the district, but they're still in the district unless the council, as the administrators of this board, have changed the boundaries of that district. And maybe that's something we need to look at.
I think that's what Steve's talking about, that when you have bonded indebtedness, to change the boundary of the district can be sometimes a little tough.
And that's why I brought that up. It probably supports what he was trying to say. I think it needs to be looked at maybe under that aspect.
But Mike, the indebtedness, they're not part of that.
No, I understand that, but usually when you sell a bond, part of the value of the bond is they look at the capability of the district to tax. And so when you remove some of that capability, that can affect.
But I thought the bonds were paid off.
Well, I don't know.
And not all of them, I don't think.
I don't know that.
We were talking about it,
But I think, go back, the bonds That was set up with taxing authority too, I believe.
Well, it says in here that they, just like other SSDs, it talks in here, they have no taxing authority.
Up to the council.
That comes
No,
back to the
that
council.
SSD has the ability to levy a tax if approved by this governing board.
Yeah.
Well, every SSD is that.
No, they don't.
Oh, you're
No.
taxing. You're like that.
The bonds that they have had in the past are not taxing bonds, they're revenue bonds that they've placed on the revenue they've received. In other words, they billed their customers an additional amount for the bond. They haven't used that taxing authority, not for any bonds they've got, but I think they've got that authority.
Now I understand what you're saying.
Someone here talks about that they do not have taxing, but their recommendation would be that we need this, whatever, just like the other SSDs do, with us as the administrators.
So is this a special, I mean, unique in SSDs in that the council, or commission at the time, the council created it, but the council cannot change it?
Or we can change it, but I don't know what the legal steps we have to take to change it.
Okay.
And there may be a point that we, until all indebtedness is covered, we may not be able to amend the creation document.
Is that something we have the county attorney take a look at?
I thought it was an interesting statement in here, and I don't know why I wasn't part of it in '77, from a May 17th meeting.
You were pretty young.
Yeah, well, I was out of high school for 6 years.
That's pretty young.
Mr. Kent Hyatt, mayor of Heber City, asked to have included the special request of Heber City that 4 members of the board be from Heber City. Why they thought they ought to have,
You remember, Steve?
You have not?
Because Heber City put in $150,000 to create the district. Midway put in $50,000, and the county put in $15,000, which I'm not sure of whether $15,000 was to cover Charleston's portion or not.
let me find where it talks about money. No, it says that, but yeah, go ahead, that's probably not in here.
I
That's
never
fact.
bet against Steve, but
Well, no, he's on the board. He
I
has
never bet
everything.
against Steve.
So is that why they were saying we want 4 members? They said
Well, I think
3 to be chosen by
I think
Heber
you
City
gotta
and 1 by the
realize-
county commission.
there's been a lot of feuding over the special service district with Heber City wanting 100% control for a number of years.
Well, from the very beginning. Based on this,
Yeah.
because if they got 4 on there, 4 out of 7, they got control.
They've only got 3.
Well, it says 3 from the city and 1 by the county commission, so I don't know how they're counting that as a 4th one for Heber, but that's what it says.
They've got 3 members.
Yeah.
And it's based, I think a lot of that is based on usage. And when this was created, Heber City was the biggest user, Midway was the second.
And it's probably still that way, isn't it? Where does the county
It is.
fit into that usage?
We're probably third. The Jordanelle Basin is a user through contract with Midway Sanitation District. Twin Creeks and North Dewey's is a user through contract with Heber City.
And those 2 SSDs have paid money to upgrade the line and whatnot, so
Just
they
the
got
line,
some,
but not the plant.
not the plant.
The only thing that upgrades the plant is the impact fee.
Well, yeah, but we paid impact
We pay
fees
the impact fee
for
in
quite a
North
few
Dewey
years. We paid them out of Jordanelle until
until just a few years ago.
5 years ago, 4
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
Well, the Jordanelle eventually will pull out
yeah.
as they get enough to turn that plant on.
I think this discussion would be better had in about a month and a half or 2 months. Because I think GSSD is going to come with a proposal that we may have to go back to the Midway, or the Heber Valley Special Service District and ask for a modification of the contract.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue this until the first meeting of May. Is that right? Or you want to do it second? Or
I think-
until the appropriate time?
I think just table it indefinitely
Indefinitely.
until when we get to have that discussion with what they're going to do with that sign up there.
Depends on how that comes. Is there any direction as part of that motion? Do we want to add any direction that we give to the county attorney to look at this original and forming documents and what we can and can't do within that?
I would think maybe we want to wait and maybe reform the whole thing.
Depending on what happens with them. Well, but we need to have them look and give us what parameters we have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We'll check on it, see what we can do with Charles.
So I guess I would amend that motion that, well, we didn't have a second on it yet. We have a second.
Indefinitely?
Table indefinitely.
Second.
Okay, I guess I would amend that then that we.
Well, that would,
Yes, I will amend my motion.
that would be direction you, the chair of the council, could just.
Okay, so we don't need to do it. Because I think it needs to be looked at. There's probably a lot more. There was, in here it refers to, there was some things done in 1976 prior to this in January, so a whole year before. And I didn't have time to go back and look at those, so.
Kendall, if you could get us a copy of those documents, I'm pretty sure we have them.
Well, I just went and pulled them out of the minutes, but I pulled them out, so
Okay.
I hope I didn't miss any. I went back last night and found one that I missed.
Okay.
So I'll send you a PDF of it.
Great, thanks.
Send it to you or to Scott.
Both.
Okay. And I was gonna go look at some others, but I'll send you what I got here.
Okay,
And
thanks.
this, I just pulled out of the minutes the stuff that applies just to that piece
Okay,
through the whole year.
and we can go back and
Yeah.
comb through.
It refers to some actual resolutions and that, and I didn't look at the real resolution.
That's a true librarian.
Yeah, I see, that's in favor.
Have both on.
Okay, so,
I
all
only did that on unimportant.
right, so the motion is to.
To continue
indefinitely.
until we're ready to the other. So, okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay.